Hi everybody, this is the Baseball Head, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the People's Champion. Your host, Hud, and welcome back to Baseball Head. Hopefully you like this video and hit that subscribe button. So, we are in an off day. The Mets are off on Monday because they're coming back from merry old England. Chip, pip, pip, cheerio. Eating their crumpets and eating their crumpets and tea. And they are going to be playing the Marlins. What a downer. Going to play the Boston City. You go from 105,000 people in 2 games to people watching the Marlins. I mean, it's rough. But anyway, a topic popped up. I saw it on Locked On Mets about Luis Torrens. Torrens has come here and he's played really well. And we could talk about this play in the 9th inning. Ball's hit in front of the plate. Torrens, the catcher, got in front of the plate, grabbed ball, stepped on second, got the force out, threw the first. Thought it was a little low, but Pete made the play. Great play by both sides. That is the first time in the history of baseball where a double play had been started from the catcher's position to the first base position. So that's an amazing thing to see in the 150-year history plus of Major League Baseball and organized baseball. As far as we know, that play has never occurred. So there was a sort of a historical play. Now, to talk about Torrens, the Mets picked him up on May 31st from the Yankees, of all places, for $100,000. So the Mets did a good job. They picked him up. They've already won 2 games with him behind the plate. He had 2 home runs in Washington. He's played really well since he's arrived here. His wins above replacement, according to Baseball Reference, is 0.4, which is actually quite high. Considering Tomas Nido, who has played in 32 games and Torrens has played in 6, Nido's is -1, a negative 0.1, so he's not played well. Even though he's hit for power, the Mets' record was not good with Nido behind the plate, and obviously with Omar Narvaez sent off to the Phantom Zone, DFA'd and then released by the Mets because they got tired of his garbage behind the plate. His lack of throwing runners out. I mean, that's the one thing we've seen now with Torrens. Torrens is throwing runners out. So in all likelihood, I would think, with young Francisco Alvarez coming back on Tuesday, because that is the word, is that Alvarez will be returning from his rehab assignment, and that I would think that Torrens has probably won the backup role. I think it's pretty obvious thing that Torrens has won the backup role. The Mets are basically implementing meritocracy with this group of players, because obviously this group has failed them time and time again. We saw this with Jeff McNeil. The Mets did not play Jeff McNeil for a week, and Jose Iglesias was getting the bulk of the playing time, even against lefties, righties. He was basically playing every day for a week. And the Mets were saying, well, we want to give Jeff some time off. No, they were benching Jeff. Jeff was being punished when he wasn't doing his job on the field. And his attitude, can be a little maybe lousy sometimes. So they punished Jeff, and Jeff had 2 hits. Jeff had 2 hits in the game that he played in on Sunday. And he had the leadoff single in the 9th inning to start the rally the Mets had. Because they were losing going into the 9th inning, and they beat the closer of the Phillies and were able to win the game. So Jeff McNeil is a good example of this Mets implementing a meritocracy. Hopefully he'll get this kick in the pants and he'll hit 300 again. But going back to Torrens, the Mets have struggled over the last few years to have a very good backup. Because obviously you need somebody, and he seems to know how to handle the pitching staff. He's done a great job. Feel very comfortable with him behind the plate. I would hope that he'll be able to mentor a little bit better Alvarez when he comes back. But Alvarez is pretty good in his own right as behind the plate. He's actually very good behind the plate. But that hopefully that settles that position. The one thing that we know, lack of production from players makes it very difficult for there to be stability within your organization in terms of the team. So if your players, the back end of the bench, the 24th, 25th, 26th guy in your bench are unstable, it makes it difficult when you want to give one of your regulars off, one of your stars off, and bring in a guy that can fill in for a game or two. It makes it difficult. Now, the Mets were lucky with Iglesias that they had him in the minor leagues, and that he's come in here with great enthusiasm. Same thing with Torrens. They come in with great enthusiasm, and they basically won jobs at the back end of the roster. Iglesias is going to be here, I would think, the whole year unless the Mets move him. Torrens is going to be here for the rest of the year unless he gets injured and his play falls off. Is he an all-star? No, these guys aren't all-stars. But the point being is you have guys that are hungry, guys that are playing hard, guys that are playing smart with enthusiasm. Iglesias has been, very enthusiastic on the field. And Torrens has done, and again, talking about Torrens, just to go through some of his numbers. He's 5 for 16 with a double and a home run, 2 home runs. He had that 2 home run game in Washington, 4 RBIs. He's at 313 with a 389 on base percentage, 750 slugging percentage, and a 1139 OPS. His OPS plus, the short sample size, is 227. So his numbers are off the charts right now. This is going to settle into what his career numbers have been in his career. He's been one of these catchers that's bounced around, but he's had some success. He had success back in 2021 when he had 14, 15 home runs with the Mariners. So he's had success at the major league level. And he's another guy that's probably very happy to be back in the majors. Let me just run down his numbers from a few years back. But in the meanwhile, please hit that subscribe button. He hit 15 home runs in 2021 for the Mariners. 15 home runs, 47 RBIs, and 108 at-bats. So I guess he was like the everyday catcher there with the Mariners. But that's still pretty good. And so to give you the rundown, he's a 229 average hitter, 291 on base percentage, 362 slugging percentage. He's a guy that he's a backup. But he's coming in with great enthusiasm, and the results have been really good for the Mets in terms of them winning. They picked up their game over the last week or so, but we'll see what happens. Like I always say, one game at a time, believe it or not. They did not have a good Saturday against the Phillies, and they, aside from the win, the fact that Jose Quintana did not pitch well on Sunday is concerning. I don't know how much longer the Mets are going to be holding on to him in that particular position as another starter in this rotation, especially with Christian Scott coming back very, very soon. But you let me know what you think about this video, and of course, I'll let you know what's going on with the Mets as much as I can. And I enjoy doing these videos. I thank you for coming by and watching. Have a good day. I'll see you later.